talked a little bit about this on Monday at the show, but how much confidence are you gaining now coming off of missing the first couple games, and last week you led the team in tackles, so how confident are you feeling yourself right now?
I'm just trying to get back into it. I feel a lot better out there, moving a lot better. As you said, I've been moving a lot better. So, I just going in through each week, just trying to get better through practice, whether that's jog through or anything, just trying to make sure that I'm mentally and physically ready to go to play.
We asked Declan last week, and you guys have said you guys haven't been tackling as well as you wanted to this year. Coach said, and we noticed, seemed to be a big improvement in that area last week against Pittsburgh State. How did it feel for you guys on the field in terms of how well you were able to wrap up against Pitt State?
That's during that week we were just preaching effort, getting to the ball, relentless effort, because you can't really control your effort. That's something that you can control on the field as a player. So just giving our effort, going out there, giving all that we have, and wrapping up, making those big plays is extremely important, especially going against a team like Pitt. So.
Washburn has struggled a little bit this year. They've given up quite a few sacks and tackles in the backfield. What have been some of the points of emphasis this week as you've prepared for the Ichabod offense?
No, they do a lot of good things on that side of the ball. The quarterback, I know they have two quarterbacks playing back there. They got a great offensive line returning. We just been talking about executing. We got to do a better job at executing, and that's what we've been basically preaching during practice, warm ups, and everything. So.
Kind of off a place question, Jordan. What do you know about that offense as you look watching them off throughout the week?
They do a lot of good things. They got a pretty good back there, pretty good offensive line. They have returning. I feel like that's who they're going to be leaning on during this game. So, they're probably going to be running the ball a lot. So we're going to have to fit the run and wrap up and make those tackles.
When I know you kind of throw the game out, win or lose out the next day, kind of quick, but when you're off for 2 losses in a row, how are you looking forward to playing the game, getting back at home, and just getting out front home crowd?
Yeah, we were on the road for 2 weeks straight. It definitely feels good to get back in front of our Hornet fans in the student section. So that's definitely is going to be a plus having a home game. So we can't wait for it.
Thank you, Jordan.
Laney?
Hey Jordan, I just have one question to add. So you guys have kind of had Washburn's number in recent years. You've been beating them. What is it about this team that just allows it to keep beating Washburn every year?
I just think that this is a rivalry week. We always emphasize they're going to come out here and play no matter what their record is. They're going to come and play, and I feel like that happens every year. This is a rivalry week, one of the biggest rivalries in D2 and really in the NCAA history. So we know they're going to be coming out and they're going to be ready to play. So we got to match that intensity, have great mentalities going out through the week.
Is there anything about, sorry, I'm adding another question now. Is there anything about the way that you guys play that you think trips them up every time?
No, I just really think that we just, especially at home games, and we're just more settled down. I feel like I don't know, really. We played them the last couple of years. We won those games, but some of those games has been kind of tight. I know 2019 they beat us, came down here and beat us. 2021, pretty sure we beat them in 2022. Went down there and beat them again. So, They I just know they're going to give a lot of effort. I know they're going to try to execute. So they have guys on that side of the ball that have scholarships as well as we do. So we know they're going to be able to play.
Yeah, all right, thanks.
Vince?
I got nothing, man. Everybody else hit it, but I got to ask one question. Did you guys have a party for Coach Higgins for his birthday? Was it yesterday or 2 days ago?
No, we didn't have a party, but he didn't want to break the breakdown after the practice. We made him do. He was trying to get up out of there. He was like, "No, it's your birthday today, man. You gotta break us off, break us down." So just having that guy, so much confidence, man, and having him on our side of the ball even better. So great birthday for him.
That's all I got, Jordan. Appreciate your time, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
In the beginning of the season, you guys were doing a 3-man front.
Yeah.
And we're starting to see more of a 4-man front, and we're seeing, this is like the 4th week in a row where we're seeing a really good rushing attack. Are we going to be implementing more of that 4-man front? What are you guys doing differently to cause disruption up front?
I mean, whether it's a 4-man front or a 3-man front, we preach about it in the D-line room. It starts up front with us. It could be 3-on-5 or 3-on-6, and it doesn't matter going out the week. We need to get home. We need to, give that quarterback pressure and just control the line of scrimmage. With that being said, the 4-man front, it has helped us going out through these last weeks. I know it does. It has helped us. So I'm pretty sure we should be seeing it a lot more. So.
Well, just talking about your teammate over there who's talking next, what did it mean for you guys? Obviously, you wanted to win, but what does it mean for you guys? Do you look back on it with some perspective to get BG the touchdown record, and you've caught a lot of those touchdown passes on the way to that record for him?
Yeah, no, it couldn't have happened to a better person. I've been fortunate enough to have him as my quarterback. He makes my job a lot easier, especially down there in the red zone, and it was bound to happen. Everybody knew it was going to happen, but it was cool. It was awesome for him.
You talked to us after the game, and you said this week off back-to-back losses that family over everything was something that you guys needed to focus on and really work on coming together. How's that going this week?
Yeah, I think we've responded good. We had a couple good days of practice. Came out with a lot of energy, especially Tuesday. We just got to keep finding got to get our mojo back, find our rhythm, especially offensively. And got to score when we have the chances.
Well, and last question for you is you kind of approach this rivalry game. What does that mean to you to play this rival that's so close just up the turnpike?
Yeah, rivalries games are always – the thing about rivalry games, like even in any sport really, is that it seems like they're always close, right? So, no matter how good a team, what the win-loss record is, it seems like it's always close. It's always a battle. It's always physical. So we got to go in this game with a good approach and get a win.
Washburn. What are maybe some things that stands out about them offensively or about their defense that you've seen on film?
Yeah, they've had some injuries and they're young in the back end a little bit, but they're very talented and they're fast and they're explosive, and I think they're getting better throughout the year. But they're kind of going to do the same thing we feel like that they did to us last year, and I think we got a good game plan for them.
How does it help, obviously, this conference, anyone can be anyone, but when you're off 2 losses in a row, how does it help maybe having a veteran team that's been through the adversity before to keep pressing forward?
Oh yeah, I mean that's huge. MIAA is no joke every week. You got to bring it every week, and 2 losses obviously isn't ideal, but like you said, the veteran group in us, I think again we came out this week and had good energy, and I think we know that we need to get a win this week, and it's important for us to get a win, get back on the right track. Yeah.
Lane?
Hey, I just have one question to add. I think just one. We'll see. So you mentioned that you just want this team to have a get-right game this week. What do you think needs to happen this week in order for you to say, okay, this was a get-right game, besides getting a win?
Well, a get-right game, yeah. But like I said, we got to prepare the same way every week. Washburn, it's a good opponent, like I said, and it's a rivalry week. But I just think we just got to go play our brand of football. Again, last week I really didn't feel like, especially offensively, I didn't feel like we really played like our brand. So we got to beat tempo this week. Got to tempo them. Just execute, and that's what. And at the end of the day, that's what we got to do. Yeah.
Vince?
Is this kind of the part of the season where you maybe hit some adversity, right? Again, talking about the 2 straight losses, but is this kind of the part of the year where you may have hit some adversity right now?
Yeah, I mean, two losses, definitely a little bit of adversity. You guys kind of talked about the veteran that we have, and it's important. I think we've gone through a lot of adversity. From when I've been here, we've had 1 loss by more than a touchdown, and it was in 2021. So, we've been in a bunch of close games, ton of adversity, and it's good to have that experience on your sideline.
That's all I got, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Last week, you played against probably more man than you've seen all year. Coming into this week, you've seen a lot of coverage. Are you back in sort of that comfort zone?
Yeah, I think last week we knew we were going to see, and as a receiver, when someone plays you man, it's like almost you kind of take it a little personal, and we as a receiver we really didn't do a great job on getting off of man, especially in the first half. We didn't really make a whole lot of plays, but I would say not necessarily comfortability, but we would like to go against man again just to prove it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no, a lot of cover 4, a lot of cover 3. You're right. That's what we're going to see this week, and we just got to execute. Yep.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, appreciate you guys.
All right, well, I mean, you know that this question's coming. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Touchdown record. What does that mean? You know, there have been a lot of good quarterbacks that played at Emporia State. What's it mean to have your name and number at the top of that list?
It does mean a lot. I haven't really sat down and really, thought about it and, kind of soaked it in, just trying to keep going forward and, think about Saturday. But, it's definitely an honor and blessing. I mean, those guys before me were great. When COVID happened, I really had, a lot of time. So I got to sit down and, watch their games as I was watching film. I got to watch and see how they played the position and, and just how they played in this offense here. And, just being a part of those names and, after seeing that, I look up to those guys. I got to be with Braxton for, his senior season, just as a freshman, but just getting there watching, getting to see the throws that he would make and, just the plays that he made, it's definitely an honor.
You've talked a lot about trying to get consistency from game to game, and the last couple of games, it's really more about just getting consistency from period to period. What have you guys talked about and worked on with Coach Higgins, Coach Cashdollar, to get that consistency throughout an entire 60 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of start off fast, but we gotta stay being fast. We gotta execute when we're in the red zone. I mean, points are good, but touchdowns are better. You can't take field goals, especially against a team like Pitt or any other team in this league. You got to score touchdowns, and you got to be better on third down. We just got to execute right there. I mean, we got the right play calls. We know what we're going, what we're doing. We just got to execute and make the play.
It's easy to say, and you guys say every week, "Oh, we got to go 1-0 and all that," and I get it. But for you guys in the senior class, what does it mean to leave this rivalry the right way? And that means getting a win over Washburn.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely means something. It means something, to the community of Emporia. This university. It's not just about the seniors. It's about the guys who've played before us and have been in this rivalry and have played tough games against Washburn and things like that. So just always gonna win against them. Is good definitely for your university. Everybody. So that's just in our minds just to go 1-0. Yeah, I mean, it's still I know it's the back half of the season, but there's still a lot of ball to play. I mean, anything can happen in this league. You just never know. So you got to keep treating every single day like it's the most important day. You got to keep trying to get better, and you can't take nothing for granted. I mean, there's 5 weeks left for, guaranteed of my career, and, I'm not going to take anything. And I know other guys in the locker room think the same way. So, just having that mindset all throughout the locker room and, not taking anything for granted, it goes a long ways. I think they're young, things like that. But all the athletic ability and everything is there. They play hard. We kind of know what we're gonna get, but we just got to execute and play our brand of football. We can't let them dictate us. We got to do our thing.
Hey, Braden, you said you have 5 weeks left of your collegiate career, which is pretty crazy to think about. When did you start kind of counting down, or when did you realize that there is a strict time limit now on you?
I really haven't been thinking about it, but it's really flying by on me, and I think that's part of it. Just hitting the back half, you're like, dang, it's really coming up soon. So, but I haven't been thinking about it too much. I just go out there, every game's that next game. So I just have that mindset. Just treat every game like it's most important or it's the last one. So you just always have that mindset. So nothing really changes.
And you want consistency in this offense in every quarter. What is it going to take for this game on Saturday for you to feel like this was a good game for you guys, this was a get-right game?
Yeah, just winning the right way. Going out there and, just not, having any setbacks, just playing our brand of football. We got to be good on first down and execute on third down and, get our tempo going because that's when we're at our best is when we get going on offense. So, once we do that and everything, I think we'd feel pretty good after the game.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
you and Coach Higgins are? Get him a cake or something to help for his birthday?
I didn't. Trying to help him out by not getting him any more sweets. I think he probably had 5 or 6 different. He had cookies on his desk, cupcakes, all these different things, and I'm like, he's like, I might need to watch my health after this. So I wasn't trying to add on to any of that, but he just nonchalant. It's just another day type thing. But we sung to him at the end of practice yesterday, so I think that was good.
That's awesome, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Obviously, the last 2 games didn't start off. It was kind of a tough start against Missouri Western and Pitt State. What are you guys doing this week to ensure that you guys come out firing?
Yeah, our first drives have been good. For the most part, I think we've drove the ball down the field and gotten good field, in the red zone and either scored or put points on the board. But it's what we do after that first drive. We gotta execute when it's, like I said, execute on first down, not be behind the chains. And then when you got 3rd and medium or 3rd and short, you got to go execute that and not just go 3 and out. So, if we can just get first downs and get the ball moving, we'll get rolling.
All right, Coach, one thing that TK told us after the game was that he felt like, one of the most important mottos in his mind was family over everything in your program. He said that this week was going to be especially important for everybody to come together after back-to-back losses. How have you seen that, and how has that translated out on the field and in meetings this week?
Well, first off, I think Tyler's exactly right, and that's why he's a captain on this football team. And I think the captains have really shown great leadership this week. We're coming off 2 losses, tough ones, where we had opportunities, to come away 1 possession basically away from having an opportunity to win one of those, just get one. And but we didn't, and that's the way things go, especially in this conference. And we just wanted to make sure we didn't have a big letdown. And I think that we've had a relatively good week of practice this week. But I do think our captains, such as Tyler, have done a really good job of showing leadership this week.
I'm getting integrated into your program and kind of learning your priorities and how you coach. So Greg probably knows this answer, but I don't. Are you a big picture guy? Do you talk about the big picture, or are you the kind of coach that's going to focus on just this week, this game, and go one at a time?
Yeah, I'm a one at a time guy, especially in this profession. That's always been my philosophy, is to focus on the task at hand. It's kind of like on offense or defense, or it really is just one play at a time. And you can't get back the previous play, whether you won that rep or you lost that rep. And I think that's real important to focus on moving forward. Now, sometimes that's easier said than done. I do know that, just being a coach myself, to where whether a bad play, sometimes I might think that there's a bad play that's been called. I call a bad play and it doesn't work, and I'm mad about that for 4 plays later, and I can't, I got to move on. I think that's important. So that's me. That I am a relatively small picture guy, process oriented type guy when it comes to football.
Final question for you. It's easy to say, well, 1-0, every game's the same, but and your guys know that Washburn week is always a little bit different. How do you want your guys to approach the Turnpike Tussle on Saturday?
Well, I do. They do understand that. I want them to approach the week, of course, like every other week. And yeah, I know that sounds like coach speak, but at the same time, there's still a lot of things out in front of this football team, and that we can get accomplished. And yeah, unfortunately, we've lost the last 2 weeks, and it is our rival. But at the same time, regardless of who it is, coming off 2 back-to-back losses, you want your guys to refocus and to stay in the moment and stay where we're still trying to get better each and every day, because a win makes you feel so much better. I mean, it does. And I've been doing this long enough time. Talked to him on Sunday about, even on the wins on Sunday meetings, I'll say, doesn't it feel good to be a winner? Everybody's smiling, having a good time, and when you lose, it's not pleasant. So, yes, it is Washburn. It's rivalry week, but at the same time, we're 0-2, so we got to go get a win regardless of who it is.
Coach, I know, you said 0-2, you want to move forward from that, but how does it help, one, to be at home this week, and then two, to have that veteran group to kind of push you guys forward?
Well, first off, it's definitely good to be at home. I feel like that we have not been at home much at all this year, but again, that's just part of the schedule, that the hand we're dealt, and we gotta go play the schedule. That's all I do know. So, but it will be definitely great to be back home. And the second thing, what was the second question? The part of that?
The veteran group, when you're coming off 2 losses, these guys in the locker room
Yeah,
keep us.
right. Well, last year, very similar type, where we lost 2 early games to UCO and Pitt, tough ones. Same type of thought process, really. I mean, same type of games where it come down to one possession, and our guys got through that part. And a lot of guys that are on this team were part of that. So, and I think not only our captains, as I said earlier, but we've even challenged our Iron Hornet officers, guys that are considered part of our leadership council, to show leadership, talk to the coaches about, we're going to coach these guys like it's the first 2 weeks of camp, first week of camp. I mean, we can't let things slip. We have to stay on top of this football team because, and we told the guys too, we're going to coach you hard. It's not, pat you on the back and, hey, we're going to get him next time. No, we got to be better. We got to play better. Whatever we got to do in practice, whatever you're doing, we need to change something to help us have an opportunity to win a football game. And I think that our leaders have done that this week.
I know Washburn's has a younger team this year, but what are some things that jump out about them that you
Well, first of all, I think they're a good football team. I will make sure that I say that because, again, I've been in this league long enough to know where that if you're not ready to play, it doesn't matter what somebody's record is. Does not matter. And unfortunately for them, and I've been through this too, that when you have some injuries, especially at that quarterback position, and you got to play a young player who's trying to find his way, it can be very difficult. And it can be very difficult on the players surrounding, that individual. And so, but I think that they have a very big physical offensive line. We know they're going to want to run the football. Defensively is always, I think Coach Watkins does a great job there. Multiple looks, play hard. This is going to be a physical game. So, we're looking forward to the game. I do know that. At the same time, and we know our guys, they need to be ready, period. Because Washburn, again, they have a lot of tradition there. And we had to, they fought back against us last year. So you're right. They got some young guys, but I think a lot of that's due to injuries. And we know that they're going to be ready to play us. You bet.
Hey, Coach Higgins.
Hey.
You guys have won the Turnpike Tussle the past couple of years. I know this week is new week, new game, but is there something about the way that you guys play that you think just does really well against them?
I'm going to be honest with you. I think the way, if we're executing offensively, I think the way that we play can be good against anybody. And we've proven that fact, whether it's Washburn, whether it's Pittsburgh State. We're able to, move the ball very first drive last week. Now, we needed to be efficient inside the 10 and score a touchdown. But, I think if we're efficient and we are playing with pace and tempo, we do a good job on first down, I think we can move the ball on anybody. I think that defensively we have shown in spots where we can be a dominant defense, and then we've shown in spots where we struggle at times, and we got to become more consistent, I believe, on that side of the football. So regardless of who we're playing, I think that's kind of, like as we go into a week kind of looking at, all right, where are some things we got to continue to get better at, and that's how I see both us on offense and on defense.
And what do you want to see out of your team this weekend in order to feel like, okay, this was a good get-right game, we're back into our groove?
Right. No, that's a great question. I think play the right way. And, again, I thought we were ready to play last week. Okay, the previous week, I didn't think we were for the first half. We played poorly. My tone of voice was different against Missouri Western at halftime than it was against Pittsburgh State, to be quite honest. So I think we need to don't necessarily want to say, we want to start fast. That's the ultimate goal. But if we don't, it's not the end of the world. We need to be efficient. We need to play well. We need to play as I said, we got to be more consistent on defense. We got to tackle well. We got to be efficient offensively on third down. Okay, we've not done – that's something that we've always been really good at here, and we struggled the past 2 weeks, and those are 2 losses. So we need to – I want to be efficient in that area. And then, I think we need to be able to run the ball effectively. I always believe that no matter how many or what people think about our offense as far as putting the ball in the air, it is so vitally important for us to be able to run the football for us to have consistent success.
All right, thanks.
You bet.
Coach, I know when you operate as a coaching staff, you guys have meetings and everything. Does the word adversity come up when you guys have these meetings and what you guys want to do differently as a coaching staff? I know you mentioned, there's some play calls, of course, you're going to miss. How do you handle that as a coaching staff when adversity hits you guys as well?
Well, I think that, we face it head on. I think communication is huge, let's talk about the adversity, okay, as a staff, and let's talk about how we can fight through it. And, sometimes adversity can be like for us, where we've lost 2 games in a row. That's definitely adversity. Is it due just to our individual play? Is it due to us as coaches making sure they're prepared? Are they prepared well enough? I think you have to have those open conversations, and you have to be honest, because the bottom line is, we want our players to be successful, but we want to win football games. And to do that, you can't have anything hidden. You got to get it all out there on the table, even with the players. And I think they know, and it's not perfect, but I do think they know in this football program that sometimes the things they're going to hear, whether we've been on a 7-8 game losing streak or we've been on a 4 or 5 game losing streak, it doesn't matter. They know there's going to be communication and honest communication, and I think the coaches know that too. I think the older I've gotten, the grayer I've gotten, I've learned that as a coach that, I don't have all the answers. I definitely do not, and you got to have a good staff, and I feel like I have a great staff that I rely on to ask tough questions like, where do we need to get better? What do we need to do? Let's focus on this more in practice. Whatever that might be. So that's kind of how I feel like that you have to attack adversity, all right, and not let it just simmer. I don't even know if that's the right word, but just kind of sit there. We want to attack it.
All right, Coach, one last thing. You have a good birthday yesterday.
It was good. Didn't do anything. It's always during the fall, so, just getting a year older. That's the thing. Like, I'm not as excited about them as I used to be, right? I used to be a lot more excited about birthdays than I am now. Now it's kind of just like a normal day. Went home and did, watch practice film, went home and just watched Netflix with my wife. That was my birthday. That was exciting to me.
I love it, Coach. Thanks so much.
You bet.
Last week, especially, you said you were proud of the guys, the way that they came out in that fourth quarter. And 2 games in a row, they've obviously battled through the adversity of coming out at halftime against Missouri Western, coming in that fourth quarter against Pitt State. How much of that challenge adversity is player-driven as opposed to coach-driven?
I don't know. I think that's a good question. I think that has to be player-driven first. It has to be. Like, as coaches, we can tell them, and we can tell them in a nice way. We can tell them in a different tone of voice way. It's whatever the personality of that coach is, when to do it, when's the right time to do it, when's not the right time to do it. But it's got to be player-driven to me. It really does. We're not out there playing for them. We got to do definitely. The only thing that I will tell coaches is that is you just need to make sure that you have your players prepared, thoroughly prepared. Okay, this is the MIAA, and we ask a lot of our players in preparation, when it comes to reminders, when it comes to tests, when it comes to film on their own, all those things, So I think that's the first thing. And then the second thing after that, then it's got to be player-driven. It's got to be guys that want to, all right, that know no matter, regardless of where we're at on the scoreboard, we got to finish the game the right way, whether we're ahead or whether we're behind. Unfortunately, we were behind in these last 2 games, and our players fought back. I think that's a really good indication of where our football program's at, because I think we've always had fight in us here. We're a bunch of fighters. I mean, we are. This program is fights, to stay where we're at in the league. And so we pride ourselves on that. And I would be disappointed in myself and the coaches and definitely the players if we did not have some fight in us. But it starts with those guys. It always does. I believe that. Success, it starts with players. It's not about plays. Sometimes that's hard for me to realize. But it's not about plays. It's about players. Yep, you bet.